Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News for Monday, February 27, 2023. Stand up for your country. Well, I was on the move again this weekend. Went down to Florida. Had some business to do down there. And I have some things to report to you later on in the broadcast. I think you'll find interesting and maybe even amusing. But first, the Talking Points Memo, the COVID leak. So as you know, COVID devastated the world and America for about 2 years. And all of us were disrupted. Some of us still haven't recovered. Some of us died. Some of us have long COVID to this day, a weakened immune system and all of that. In my lifetime, next to 9/11, that was the worst thing that's happened to this country, the COVID pandemic. And we still don't know how it got here, all right, and how it was developed, because the Chinese will not cooperate. They will not let United Nations investigators, World Health Organization people, go to the Wuhan lab, which was the center, ground zero of COVID. So the Chinese are villains and they're covering something up. Nobody knows what. Okay, there's speculation. COVID has been used for political gain. Okay, all of that has been in play. It is my job to cut through all that and to tell you the truth as I can ascertain it. So here we go. The Wall Street Journal got a hold of information from the federal government. Okay? And the information says that COVID probably leaked out of the Wuhan lab. This is from the Department of Energy. But in that assessment, the DOE says it has low confidence in the conclusion. What does that mean? It means it can't prove it, primarily. The FBI says the exact same thing. COVID came out of the lab. It has moderate confidence in its conclusion, which means it has more evidence, the FBI does, than the Department of Energy. Third, the CIA has not weighed in at all. Now, they're the agency that should know because they're in charge of foreign intel. They haven't weighed in. Okay. When I read this, I believe it. I believe that COVID leaked out of that lab, that scientists there were investigating a virus, okay, trying to find out where it came from, if it came from a bat, if it came from a snake, a dog. They were analyzing it, Chinese scientists. And somebody in that lab got infected and walked out to the streets of Wuhan, 8 million people in the city, and boom, there you go. That's what I think happened based upon my reportage over the last 2.5 years. I could be wrong. Now, immediately the pinheads, and I'm including Dr. Fauci from the CDC in the pinhead description, sought to politicize the COVID situation. Roll the tape.
Now, a lot of people on the right love that phrase, escape from the lab, because it sounds like something from a Marvel movie or a comic book. It sounds like they're talking about a man-made virus that China was weaponizing that got out of control.
I have always said that the high likelihood is that this is a natural occurrence. I didn't dismiss anything. I just said it's a high likelihood that this is a natural occurrence from the environment of an animal reservoir that we have not yet identified.
He's the worst. And I didn't come to that conclusion in any kind of quick way. While the conservative commentators were killing him in the beginning, I held back. But now I can tell you he's the absolute worst. Doesn't know what he's doing. Okay. So you had that situation where it was politicized and people believe what they want to believe. It always goes back to that. Okay? Some people on the right believe that this was a weapon from China and China did it on purpose and that China infected the world on purpose. It's what they believe. They want to believe that. On the left, I don't know what the heck. Why does Hayes, who's ridiculous, he's just a ridiculous human being, why does he object to somebody saying, I think it might have come out of that lab? Why? There's no answer to that question. Okay, but the worst part of this story isn't the speculation. Fauci was bad, but this is worse than Fauci, was the social media that censored it. So Facebook removed any discussion from the lab leak story in May 2021. They just wiped it out. It wasn't allowed to be discussed. And YouTube did the same thing. So if you said, like I just did, I think it came from that Wuhan lab, boom, you were wiped out. That's serious business now. And this new Congress has got to really zero in on this kind of totalitarian censorship. Now, to its credit, Twitter did not do that. Okay? Just so we're trying to be fair across the board here. So let's sum up. The evidence so far compiled says that COVID infected someone in the Wuhan lab, the person walked out and infected the world. That's how it happened. That's the evidence that we have. Okay? But it's not conclusive. That's not conclusive. Will it ever be? I don't think so, because China will not cooperate. That's the memo. Masks. I hated those masks. I got to up front tell you I hated it. I wore them. I didn't want to wear them. I stayed out of crowds. I just hated them. So now we have a new report from the Cochrane database of systematic reviews. Wow, huh? I don't know what this is. I got to be honest. I never heard of this, but they have reviewed, 87 studies, 78 studies. I'm a little dyslexic today. 78 studies reviewed by Cochrane about masks and whether masks protect us. They say their conclusion is that masks make little or no difference to the spread of COVID. I can't verify it. I don't know what Cochrane is. I don't know whether they have any kind of dog in the hunt here. I don't know. But it's worth mentioning. If you want to read that thing, it's all over the internet. You can read it. It's a lot of facts there, but the conclusion is the masks don't work. President Biden, nothing today except a reception celebrating Black History Month. I was not invited. I'm stunned. I know a lot about Black history. A lot. More than Joe Biden knows. But I didn't get invited. Anyways, having our reception at 5 p.m. I hope everybody has a good time. Vice President Harris. This is what they call in the cliche low-hanging fruit. Going after her. And I avoid it on most occasions. I wrote a column yesterday, posted on BillO'Reilly.com. You all can read it. Don't have to be a premium member or anything like that. About how Kamala Harris is the mistress of deception. That could be a TV show, right? The mistress of deception. Now, whether or not she knows she's deceiving, I don't know. I can't read her mind. But this is the most obvious, blatant, best example I can ever bring you, and it's what my column was based on. She goes to Bowie State University, primarily black school, on February 22nd and says this. Go.
Every day, Joe Biden and I talk about and work together with our partners like former leader Hoyer, current leader Hoyer, to lower the cost for the people of our nation, because you are a leader. For working families, we have reduced heating and electricity bills. So folks have more money in their pocket to buy things like school supplies, replace the dishwasher, or take a family vacation.
Not true. It's not even close to being true. Here are the facts. Over the past year, the American consumer has paid 12% more for electricity and 27% more for natural gas. Overall, under President Biden, a little more than 13 months now, okay, the price of fuel, all fuel, no matter what you use, is up 28%. Okay? So the Biden administration is not cutting fuel costs. Just check your fuel bills. I do. Up, 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 and up. Gasoline in your car goes up and goes down. That depends on a lot of different forces. So, Kamala Harris says this to the students and the faculty at Bowie State. People in the audience, they don't know, right? Media, nothing. So the Biden administration knows this. They know they can say anything, and nobody's going to call them on it. All right? When I did the Andrea Mitchell thing last week, and I hope you saw that, where she was interviewing Kamala Harris and said that DeSantis in Florida refused to teach black history. This is NBC News correspondent Andrea Mitchell. I was the only one on television, the only one who called her out. No one else. And then NBC made her apologize. It's shocking. But the Biden administration knows they can get away with saying anything. Hey, Bill O'Reilly here. I want to tell you about GhostBed. GhostBed has been designing high-quality sleep products for more than 2 decades with more than 50,000 positive customer reviews. Wow. GhostBed has luxury mattresses and premium sheets that get softer with every wash. Their mattresses have a cooling feature. Each is made with their signature Ghost Ice fabric, perfect for hot sleepers. Get fast and free shipping, plus a 101-night sleep trial with free returns. Trying their mattress is truly risk-free. So please go online, take their quiz to find out the ideal mattress for your sleeping style. Get 30% off GhostBed mattresses plus 2 free luxury pillows, or get 40% off when you bundle a mattress with their award-winning adjustable base. Use promo code BILL at ghostbed.com/bill to take advantage of this fabulous offer. That's ghostbed.com/bill, promo code BILL. Okay, let's go to the mail. We got George, concierge member. We've had a surge in concierge membership lately, and the reason is that people are starting to figure out that if you have a serious problem, I will help you solve it. Okay? That's not a bad backup to have. So George says, Mayor Pete looks so out of place walking around with his hard hat on in Ohio. I couldn't help but think he looked more like he was going to join the Village People. You know, get the hard hat guy. Okay. If you don't know who the Village People are, look them up. They're worth it. David Abernathy, England. And again, we've expanded overseas now. We want to hear from you all over the world. David says, good analysis on the Andrea Mitchell story, Bill. I guess her ideology got in the way of the facts, but you would think that Vice President Harris was somehow complicit by not correcting Andrea Mitchell. Listen, in our country, David, these politicians will never do that. I don't know how it is in England. I haven't been over there in a while. But Harris, you know, if Harris is going to get a softball that attacks DeSantis, you're going to run with that all day long. True or not? Mark from West Virginia. Bill, you said it, Lester Holt was a good newsman. All he is now is a yes man, and I have zero respect for him. I can't crawl inside his head, but I bet he enjoys being NBC's yes man. I don't think so. And I know him, and you don't. Look, it's hard to walk away from a job like that. That's all I can tell you. Lester was really a good, honest reporter. Carol, concierge member, Biden went to Ukraine for the photo op to use during the 24 presidential campaign. The fake danger siren went off while Biden was strolling down the street with Zelensky. Well, how do you know it's fake? How do you know? Again, we go back to people believe what they want to believe. Now, Carol, you're entitled to your belief. If you want to believe it was fake, absolutely. But you can't state it as a fact because that's not right. Lyle Johnston, Jackson, Missouri. Bill, have you noticed how 80% of TV commercials now involve black actors? Yeah, I've noticed. But I'm happy that they're getting work. It's hard. If you're an actor and you get a commercial, I mean, that pays 6 months' rent. So I'm not one of these people that keeps a scorecard on color, skin color. Yeah, but it's going on. It's woke, I understand, but that's not a bad woke thing, in my opinion. I don't know the demographics of it. I don't want other people to be denied work based on skin color. That would be wrong. But, if somebody gets something good, I usually support it. Bruce Nielsen, Duluth, Minnesota. Whatever became of Ray Epps, the prominent figure in the crowds outside the Capitol on January 6th? Ray Epps. Okay. Now, you remember that he was the center of all these conspiracies. He was an FBI agent. He was this. He was that. So he was not arrested or prosecuted. Almost 1,000 people were in the Capitol riot. Ray never went inside the Capitol. He did testify in front of the January 6th committee, what he was doing there, what he was saying and that. I read it. It wasn't much. He was a Trump supporter. He wanted to go out and show that, he believed the election was a fraud, but he was not charged with anything. Tammy Nelson, Brookfield, Illinois. I'm a premium member and want to thank you, O'Reilly, for bringing the truth to the people. Love the smart life tips and the word of the day. Your killing books are all phenomenal. You are an amazing man, and I pray for you and your family every day. I'm not an amazing guy. I just work really hard, Tammy, and my philosophy is to help other people. So I don't know if that's amazing, but I appreciate the compliment. But most important are your prayers for me and my family. That's the most important thing you could do for me. Thank you very much. Okay, the Team Normal stuff is going to be here soon. I'm torturing the manufacturer, and there's a good story here I'm going to tell you when I come in. Why? It's hard to get the stuff that the pre-orders were already sold out of the white Team Normal hats. We ordered more, but the pre-orders sold them all out. Okay, this is how hot this is, how big this is. So we're going to have them all. We're still in the pre-order stage. That's going to change in the next few days. We'll start to, when you pre-order Team Normal stuff, and we got the mugs, we'll put them up. We got the polo shirts, which I could have used in Florida over the weekend, I'll tell you that for sure. When you pre-order, we don't charge you. And we'll have better shots of those polos. Those are too far away. But they're beautiful, and the women's polos are great, okay? Anyway, when you pre-order, we don't charge you until we ship. But we'll start to ship in the next few days. So we get the mugs, we get the shirts, we get the hats, we get the bumper stickers. Join Team Normal, okay? And you don't want to be on Team Crazy. Team Normal. Word of the day, do not be pawky. P-A-W-K-Y. Love that word, pawky. Back with a final thought in a moment. Bill O'Reilly here for Lone Star Transfer. If booking your timeshare has been difficult in the past, it's been almost impossible lately. Most clients are shocked to learn that their timeshare is now available to the public, severely limiting booking options. Many owners are upset their yearly dues have nearly doubled during this maintenance fee season. For well over a decade, this family-owned company has had the pleasure of helping more than 18,000 owners legally and permanently get out of their timeshare fees. With an A-plus rating at the Better Business Bureau and more than 900 five-star testimonials, Lone Star Transfer is a company you can trust. Lone Star Transfer guarantees the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. So please call my friends today for a free, no-obligation consultation at 855-551-7066. 855-551-7066 or online at lonestartransfer.com. Okay, so here is the final thought of the day. South Florida was packed. It was packed everywhere because it's winter break. And it's, again, my message of the day. And people everywhere. And the prices were just insane in Palm Beach, just so you know. I love Palm Beach. There's a lot going on. I got a lot of friends down there. Coastline is beautiful. There's a reason it's the most expensive real estate in Florida. But believe me, they're not giving anything away down there. So anyway, I go to church. I go to 9 o'clock Mass. And then I had a meeting at the Breakers Hotel, which is a nice old hotel on Palm Beach. So I go to my meeting, and we have a little breakfast at the meeting, that kind of thing. And then I say to everybody, we wrap up the meeting. I say, okay, I'm going to walk back to my car, which is parked in a St. Edward's parking lot. Had to be about 85, 86 degrees. I want to tell you, boy, it's hot. And it's the end of February. And I'm going, I don't know if I can make it. Now, I lived in Florida. I taught high school there for 2 years. I was based out of there when I covered the war in El Salvador and the Falkland Islands situation. Okay? So I know South Florida pretty well. But I know as I get older, the extreme heat, cold thing, I'm walking, it was about a half mile, which I'm glad I did. I needed the exercise after the breakfast thing. But I'm going to myself, could I live down here? So the only reason I'm telling you that is if you are contemplating a move to Florida or Texas, remember I lived in Dallas for 2 years, talk about hot in the summer, or the Carolinas or Georgia or Tennessee, you have to be able to accept the heat. All right? Yeah, you can say, well, I'll stay in most of the time with the air conditioning. That's no way to live. You know? You've got it. Now, some people can. Some people love it. You mean it's only 90? How about 98? To me, because I'm Irish, all right, the DNA is in there. If it gets over 80 in Ireland, everybody panics. So anyway, I noticed that heat end of February, but I still had a great time. It was still good to get out of the cold. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll see you tomorrow. The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped a whopping 20%. 2023 could be worse. You are right to be worried. So call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Since I've been a client and spokesperson, the price of gold has appreciated more than 35%. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers and have the highest rating in the country with an A-plus rating from the Better Business Bureau. Please tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201. That's 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.